You know, when you're like, oh, I have an idea. Oh. Welcome back to my Miracle Mindedness practice. All right, and today we're going to be playing with the 5 senses. And for some of us, could be a 6th sense too. Oh. Oh. Okay, I'm in a goofy mood right now. Don't mind me. But anyways, the 5 senses, like the only time do you actually think about the 5 senses is like when you actually can't smell something, or something tastes really bad, or something gets like really loud, or if your ear gets clogged, or like if you touch something and it's hot or like really cold. Then all of a sudden we're like, bing, you know, sensory overload to the brain. But what if you just start tapping into your senses, like just picking one sense and starting to become aware of it? So what are the 5 senses? Smell, taste, touch, vision or seeing, and hearing, right? And so if you were to pick vision, what about seeing yourself and going within? You know, what does that vision look like to you? Or hearing. Have you ever just slowed down and really start to hear nature? Or if you live in a city, like actually hear what's going around and just observing. And one thing I actually used to do before tournaments, because especially when I was younger, I'd get so dang nervous. I was just like, my mind was racing and I was all over the place, and it was really hard for me to focus. And what I would start to do is kind of go off by myself. One, go through a routine, like get yourself warmed up, right? Mentally prepare yourself, but also, you know, give myself a space where I would just start hearing. Like I would pick one sound, like birds, right? I would pick the sound of birds and just become highly minded and consciously aware of those birds, you know, whether it's like 1 minute, 2 minutes, or however much time I had before going on the tennis court. Because when you compete, or, you know, even in a work day, like you're using your senses, but especially in sports, like in regards to tennis specifically, I don't know what it's like for other sports per se, but you will actually have a certain cue in reading the ball of sound. And when, you know, is it a fast bounce hit or a slow bounce hit, and so many other cues too. I don't want to go in a ton to tennis because not everyone loves tennis. So, but just, you know, giving an example that you can actually use in so many other ways, but just being minded of, you know, and even if I was in a really like busy place, because I traveled to a lot of different places and I was in a city, like I would actually just open my ears to like traffic and close my eyes and breathe and just become really acutely aware of the sound of traffic. And what does this start to force you to do? Well, one, you really start to observe your senses, and 2, you really start to zone in and focus on one thing and being really minded and consciously aware of that specific thing. So it really forces you to zone in and focus, go into a deeper focus. And you can also have fun and play with it depending on your environment and where you're around. You know, I would say always throw with caution, you know, with certain things like touch, right? Like if something's hot, don't go burn yourself, right? Like, let's be smart about this a little bit, you know, use some common sense, just maybe, just a little. All right, but you know, there are certain senses where you can also, like for touch, when I'm in the shower, you know, just feeling that soap on your hands and, feeling that touch depending on the type of soap you have. Some that have those scrubs, like you can really feel the touch of that scrub. And then smell, obviously, I think is pretty apparent, especially when things smell good. And or using like essential oils. I'll do that too, and just pick one essential oil and use that essential oil for the week and actually meditate with it. Or just being aware of that smell and that sense, whether it's, 30 seconds or a minute or a couple minutes. And it just allows you, like I said, to focus, but center in and have this heightened awareness. But guess what? You're the one controlling it. You're the one that is directing it and leading it, and tapping into your senses is such a beautiful thing, because we are sensory people. We are sensory humans. That's why we have them. We would not have them there if we didn't need them, right? So why not start to become more aware and use them in different ways, and make it even a practice, because you're now becoming very aware of yourself and your surroundings, right? That's what conscious awareness and being minded is all about, and using tools to go deeper into that mind, body, and spirit as one. So this is just another tool that you can use. All right, guys, so pick one of those senses and, work with it, play with it, and try it for a day for a couple minutes. Try it for a week, try it for 21 days. And, you will be surprised how it can actually start to change some of your focus, your productivity, and just overall, like I said, being aware of your surrounding. All right, guys, I hope you have a grateful day and enjoy the moment.